Issuing report number 003. False accusations are weapons. They don't need to be true, they just need to be loud. Today's report examines a calculated attempt to destroy a reputation, the digital evidence that reversed the narrative, and the moment the accuser became the accused. Most people would call this a misunderstanding. Here at the Revenge Reports, we call it defamation with witnesses. Let's examine the timeline.
Jordan had just landed the opportunity of a lifetime, a rotational leadership program at a Fortune 500 company, 6 figures by year 3, executive mentorship, a fast track to management before the age of 30. It was competitive. Out of over 2,000 applicants, only 12 were selected. Jordan was one of them. The role placed him on a cross-functional team responsible for streamlining internal systems across finance, HR, and compliance. High visibility, high pressure, high stakes. And that's where Melissa entered the picture. Melissa was also in the program. She was polished, charismatic, extremely social. She knew everyone's birthday, their favorite coffee order, and which executives mattered. What she didn't know was the system. Jordan noticed it early. She asked basic questions repeatedly. She missed deadlines. She submitted surface-level work that had to be quietly fixed by others. But Melissa had one advantage. She knew how to talk. The first issue came during a quarterly progress review. Each associate was required to present their individual contributions to senior leadership. Jordan had spent weeks building an automation tool that cut audit prep time by 40%. It was technical. It was measurable. It worked. Melissa went after him right before the meeting. She suggested they align their stories. She asked if they could present the project as joint work. She implied it would look better for the team. Jordan declined. He wasn't rude. He wasn't aggressive. He simply said the work reflected his responsibilities, and he planned to present it accurately. Melissa smiled, and that was the moment things changed. 2 weeks later, HR scheduled an emergency meeting. No subject line. No explanation. When Jordan arrived, there were 3 people in the room: an HR manager, a compliance officer, and Melissa. The accusation was simple and devastating. Melissa claimed Jordan had created a hostile work environment, that he spoke down to her, that he undermined her in meetings, that his behavior made her feel unsafe and intimidated. There was no physical accusation, no witnesses named, no documentation. But HR doesn't need proof to pause a career. Jordan was placed on administrative leave pending investigation. His system access was revoked. His mentor stopped responding to emails. His cohort distanced themselves immediately. In 48 hours, Jordan went from high potential hire to liability, and Melissa stayed at work. What Melissa didn't know was that Jordan documented everything. Every meeting summary, every Slack message, every project handoff. Not out of paranoia, out of habit. Jordan had learned early in his career that memory is unreliable, but timestamps aren't. He reviewed months of communication. What he found was disturbing. Melissa had repeatedly asked him to share his work, asked him to review her deliverables, asked him to let her submit joint contributions. And every time Jordan declined, her tone shifted. Polite requests became passive aggression. Casual messages became sharp comments. Private frustrations became public side-eyes. Jordan compiled the data, but he didn't send it to HR yet. 3 months earlier, the company had installed new meeting room software. Every room recorded audio and video for transcription and compliance purposes. Most employees forgot it existed. Jordan didn't. He requested access through compliance, citing his investigation. What he received changed everything. In one recorded meeting, Melissa openly mocked Jordan after he left the room. She referred to him as difficult, uncooperative, and threatened by confident women. In another, she admitted she needed something stronger to remove him from the team. And then came the final clip, a private conversation between Melissa and another associate where she said, "If I can't move up with him here, I'll move up without him." The room went silent. Jordan submitted a formal response. Not emotional, not defensive. Clinical, a 62-page packet. Timeline, transcripts, video timestamps, message logs. He didn't accuse Melissa. He let her words do it. HR escalated the case immediately. Legal was brought in. Senior leadership was notified. Melissa was placed on leave for the first time. The narrative flipped overnight. 2 weeks later, the leadership cohort gathered for a mandatory meeting. The VP of HR addressed the room. Without naming names, she spoke about false reporting, misuse of internal processes, and ethical violations. Melissa was not present. That afternoon, her company profile was removed. Her email bounced. Her LinkedIn updated itself. Open to work.
The outcome was decisive. Melissa was terminated for misconduct, falsification of reports, and abuse of internal systems. Jordan's leave was rescinded. His record was cleared. He was reassigned to a new team with a direct reporting line to senior leadership. 6 months later, he was promoted ahead of schedule. Melissa filed a wrongful termination lawsuit. It was dismissed within weeks, because evidence doesn't argue. It reports. Case file 003 is closed. If you have a story where the truth was buried and then unearthed, our submission lines are open. This has been the Revenge Reports. Justice has been documented.